Speaking of which, anyways, so we got Ryuku Sensei who uploaded a video. It's been a while since I've seen a Ryuku Sensei video, so go firing shots all the time, all the time. These girls gotta learn. These girls gotta learn their place at the end of the day. You know, you came into a medium, but anyways, off topic. Anyways, NT deserves your attention. So apparently NT changes everything. So I'm pretty curious to see what they're going to be addressing and what they're going to be changing. Because I played the beta. I think the beta was pretty fun. There were some few things I didn't like. I felt like the radio music needs to be a little bit better. And there needs to be like radio talk host in between, like, you know, it's be like, welcome to channel, blah, 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 you know, home of the, whatever the name of the city is called or whatever, you know. I wish there was like, there has to be some like kind of, it just makes it feel like more it's alive or so in general. I'm not a huge fan of the gearing system in NTE. I wasn't really a huge fan of it. I don't know what other people thought in general. At least when my audiences were looking at me, I was literally having to sit there like for such a long time reading everything and then aligning everything up and all this other shit. Wasn't really a huge fan. It kind of slowed down the gameplay a bit for me for that part in general. I did not like that the companion, like the quest where you can like I guess when you max out like a certain like affection meter, you like unlock a special quest and everything and you hang out with them. Unfortunately, it's not voice acted, so it's just kind of like, it kind of defeats the purpose of me even wanting to level up their shit or care about them in general, because it's not voice acted and everything. And sure, they actually need a radio station. They do need a radio station for the music. The music definitely needs to be a little bit better. I did like at least like maybe one, maybe two soundtracks on the radio when you unlock them through the story. It's really cool that at least you unlock songs or so from buying them from the store or from that, but I wish there was maybe a little bit more. Like, try to see if you can get like the artist or so from Street Fighter, you know, who made the Street Fighter songs, you know, maybe get some of them to do some soundtracks, original soundtracks for the game itself. It would be pretty cool. I think it would fit pretty well for the urban street environment and everything like that, but that's just my personal opinion. I think it would fit pretty well. What else did I did not enjoy from the game itself? There was a lot of positives that I have about the game itself. There was definitely some tweaks that needed to be made for the game in general. But even then, it's like, you know, I did like some of the references in the video game, you know, in this throughout the story. I love the animations. The animations felt really nice. There were some questionable VA stuff or so, like some delivery lines, but I don't blame the VA at the end of the day. I blame the director. Because of that, you know, I'm just not a huge fan of English Western VAs because of the whole grounded voices that they have to do. I personally hate that. That's just personally me. But that's why I don't really like, you know, I did play it throughout the entire game in English, and I'm not a huge fan of this white hair guy who had the most weirdest voice ever with the most weirdest character model in general. I would have expected him to be more I guess more in the realm of like Zhongli and Nouvellette kind of status. But like his voice like was just completely so off the mark or so for the character model, because I would have expected more for this white hair guy or so, specifically be like Kisuke Urahara style, you know, as in like outfit wise, you know. And he's supposed to be the leader, but he has like this weird like uptight uniform. He looks so like, in the trailer specifically, looking at it, it didn't give off that vibe whatsoever. He gave me more, you know, of a vibe of like, you know, very like quiet, eccentric, logical person, you know, has a lot of wise things to say, but you know, and he's a very powerful like I guess like Esper or like, you know, yokai hunter or whatever specifically the group is called. But that's kind of like the thing in general that I did not like about him specifically. I was not really too fond of him. There were some VAs that did fine. I think I'm not a huge fan of Hu Tao's VA being the cat girl. at least for certain delivery lines. There's some certain delivery lines I'm just kind of like, but at the end of the day, it's not me like hating on the VA or anything like that. It's just basically just hating the director in general. So also give me Metal Station. That is true. There wasn't really a lot of variety in the music in general. Like I feel like definitely the music for the radio in general when you're going out and exploring, I think was probably the weakest in the game because there was only a few songs in general. It just kept repeating after a while, and it was just kind of like, it's like, okay, all right, that's fine. Also, fix that game for code. Them slideshows moments were quite. Oh yeah, there were actually moments or so where the game was yeah, it was lagging, so it was dipping in frames super hard, and I was just kind of like, I was like, damn, dude, this game is dying on me, dude. It did not like a lot of things when I was playing it. Take care, Pharaoh. Be safe. But yeah, overall, I'd be curious to see whether they're gonna, NTE deserves your attention. The game is amazing. NTE changes everything. I'd be curious to see if what Ryuko Sensei is gonna give us the breakdown or so to see what they're gonna be addressing and what they're gonna be changing. Because it's a pretty good game overall. I actually did enjoy the game.
Neverness to Everness is an upcoming supernatural urban open-world RPG developed by Hotta Studios, the creators of Tower of Fantasy, and built on Unreal Engine 5. It blends the anime action RPG combat game with a deep GTA-style urban life simulation. I was given access to the current and hopefully last closed beta, and in this video I want to give
It's not the last beta. They're gonna have an open beta.
my full review. This video is sponsored, but all thoughts and opinions are my own. So with that being said, my name is Ryuko Sensei, and this is the Neverness to Everness closed beta review. First up, for those who are new, what is Neverness to Everness? NTE is set in Heathrow, a sprawling, neon-soaked metropolis that feels both modern and deeply wrong. In this world, the supernatural has become a mundane but still dangerous part of daily life. These anomalies range from sentient graffiti and TV-headed otters to reality-warping entities that cause buildings to float or streets to distort. You play as the Appraiser, who is the first unlicensed anomaly hunter. Operating out of the Avon Antique Shop, you take commissions from the public to investigate and neutralize various supernatural disturbances.
It's just yokai.
Unlike many post-apocalyptic RPGs, NT leans more into the light comedy with a twist type of vibe. It focuses on the quirky, often humorous interactions between ordinary citizens and the bizarre occurrences they've learned to live with, but it still dips its toes into the horror themes every now and then as well. NTE sets itself apart by offering a more double life type of experience. Half high-stakes combat, controlling fun and interesting characters like the Pink Cat Girl, Blue Cat Girl, Dogman, Female Sephiroth, and my personal wet dream dominatrix, and half urban sandbox a la Grand Theft Auto. For combat, you control a team of characters known as Espers, humans who have awakened certain supernatural powers. The combat is fast-paced and 3D action-oriented, wherein you switch between characters to trigger
Uncle.
Esper reactions, which are these synergetic elemental or physical combos similar to Genshin Impact or Zenless Zone Zero, but they also have dodge and parry mechanics like you might be familiar with in Wuthering Waves too. However, some abilities aren't just for fighting. For example, Nanali, the Pink Cat Girl, can use her anti-gravity abilities to run vertically up and across walls. Just don't do it while wearing the schoolgirl skin. Or
Just do it with the schoolgirl skin.
I don't know, do what you like, I'm not your father. As for other ways of getting around the map besides using the phone booths, which swallow you up and spit you back out across the map, the game features a surprisingly deep car culture that I'm not really familiar with in real life, but it's fun to use in the game. You can buy sports cars, muscle cars, or bikes and modify them with different wheels, bumpers, and all these other things that, again, I'm not really too familiar with. After that, you can use them to do various jobs around the map, like fulfilling delivery commissions from Stereo Express, which is run by this absolute goddess, Wood. There's also a fully functional public transportation system with trains and buses you can get on just to sit back and enjoy the ride.
If you're expecting a different game, especially from China, you might be sadly mistaken.
On top of that, you can also purchase luxury apartments around the map and decorate them with various furniture and figure.
Imagine owning 5, literally. The funny thing about it is that you could own 5 virtual homes in a video game, but you can't even buy one single home in real life. That's how ironic it is compared to video game life and real life.
screens, and even manage businesses or shops within the city to earn passive income too. As I mentioned, NTE runs on Unreal Engine 5 and makes full use of its nanite geometry system to create high density environment. I mean, you can tell that I'm not really too familiar with that. I'm not even going to pretend I understand what that is, but according to Google, what it means is that it renders massive film quality high poly meshes in real time without traditional level of detail limitations, whatever that means. This
It's the triangles, the little blips or so, the nanite thing. Nanite
allows them to
technology.
fill the world with NPCs that follow schedules, obey traffic laws, and react realistically if you cause chaos on the streets, which you will inevitably do because, again, anime GTA. Speaking of, if you end up causing chaos, let me just rephrase that. When you end up causing chaos, such as destroying public property, stealing cars, and attacking NPCs, this raises your wanted level, causing the police to be dispatched to take you in. The higher your wanted level, the more police come after you. It is possible to escape and reset your wanted level, but if you do get caught, you're taken to the prison to serve your time. Do work and follow your schedule, and after your time is over, you're released. Break the rules while you're there, however, and your time is extended. Or you could just pay a fine and be released instantly. I mean, talk about fantasy, right?
That's
Paying a
pretty
fine and
funny.
getting out of it with zero consequences? That would never happen in real life. Anyway, before I move on, I would like to mention that I think it's interesting that your detention time and fine are fixed, so even if you get caught at warrant level 1 or 4, the result is the same. I think it would be cool if the time and fine change depending on the warrant level at which you're caught. Moving on though, just to touch on the combat and the character building in this game, I mentioned that the combat is centered around reactions with dodge and parry mechanics. There are of course normal attacks, skills, and ultimates too. Also, the bosses have a stun meter where they become inactive for a short time to get a lot of heavy hits in. So basically, if you're familiar with any modern mobile combat game, you'll be able to pick this game up quite easily. There are several Esper cycles, reactions in this game like Blossom or Nova, but
Yeah, they got a reaction system just like Genshin Impact, basically.
I don't want to get too much into the weeds about which does what with whom, but I will say that it felt like the cooldowns on the skills felt a little bit too long for some characters, which had me stuck just mashing away with the normal attacks, which is fine, but it can sometimes make fights seem a little bit too monotonous, you know? I would hope that some adjustments are made to make the character switching flow a bit faster and help the combat feel a little bit more dynamic. It has gotten better for sure, but just a few more tweaks here and there. For weapons, unlike many other games out there right now, NT does
Oh yeah, the gacha system, I don't know, I'm not really a huge fan of the gacha system in this game. For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of it.
not have a weapon gacha. For the arcs, if the previous betas were anything to go by, you will be able to get many A rank and some S rank arcs just by playing the game and completing missions and objectives. You earn currency from anomaly commissions and buy them.
Yeah, that is the cool thing about it, is that you can, like, there's no gacha system for the weapons. It's just only the characters in general. You can just get, you know, you can get the weapons from this shop here. Yeah.
In the shop, but for everything else, including all the other S rank arcs, you can just buy them outright from the shop for 25 keys.
Yeah.
Each key costs the same as a single character pull, or you can buy 20 of them with the currency you get from the gacha, or you can also just buy 16 of these keys each patch with regular money you can earn for free in-game.
That's the cool thing about it. Yeah, I noticed that you can use your own money or so, the currency that you earn in game or so, you can use it to buy the keys to get the, I guess you can say, the weapons or so for the characters, you know?
So you might not need to spend any premium currency on the weapons at all. Honestly, I think that's a really generous deal and incredibly easy to achieve. In saying that, because there is no weapon gacha, characters are often designed with their specific arcs in mind, but because you can get them for free just by playing the game, this ensures that the optimal build is accessible to all players who put in the time. As for the gearing system, this is where NT gets creative. Instead of just equipping a list of items, you manage a grid on a Game Boy-like system where you fit different shaped blocks to activate stats. Every character has a grid with a specific layout, and you place one main piece that sets the main set bonus for the entire grid. This removes a lot of the stress of trying to find 4 different pieces of the same set. You can just pick the set you want and it is active. You'll of course need to fill the remaining grid space with blocks of the various shapes like the L shapes, squares, bars, etc., playing a kind of mini game of Tetris to fit the best stat blocks in.
I'm not a huge fan of this because it slows down the gameplay so damn much, to be honest. It really does.
to your grid, but still, that is really, really interesting. Like, also, some blocks might have incredible crit damage, but a difficult shape that prevents you from fitting other high-value blocks, so you really have to decide the most optimal way to build your characters. But what I really love about this system is that even though the substats are randomized, they're all fixed and visible before you level anything.
That is the cool thing about it, is that you see these substats already immediately before you level them up. So if you're ever curious yourself like what the substats are for your little relic for it, you don't have to worry about it because you can see it all here.
This means you know exactly what a block will give you before you waste any resources leveling it up. I absolutely love this idea, and I hope it sets a trend for more like this from other games in the future. What's more, you can choose exactly which shape console pieces you want through the rewind function, which you pull on with the currency you earn from farming dungeons. There's a lot more I can talk about with the equipment system, but for now, I'll just leave it there. In saying that, it's all well and good having these pieces, but they're useless if you don't have anyone to equip them on, which brings me on to how to get characters, and more specifically, the gacha system. I've already said that there isn't a weapon gacha in this game, but there is a character gacha. So here's the thing, and I want to get this out of the way right now. There is no 50-50. None. Nada. Zilch. If you hit gold on a limited banner, you are 100% guaranteed to get the limited banner character. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Really? I didn't know. Well, granted, I didn't read the probabilities and everything like that. That's pretty cool. No 50-50s in this game. You're guaranteed of getting the character 100%.
Pity is at 90 pulls with soft pity at 70, but the rates are high enough that you'll often see them a lot sooner than that. When I was trying to record B-roll to show the board changing to show when you've hit soft pity, I kept getting nanally so early that it took me so long to even hit soft pity in the first place. Also, if you get dupes of a character, you don't have to unlock their upgrades in a straight line. You can just choose whichever dupe node that you want and switch them on and
I tried to change it or so, but it wouldn't let me change it. I don't know if it was just bugging out on me specifically, because I wanted to choose, like, you know, either this one right here or this one here or whatever other different one. It wouldn't let me. I could only go from here, and then I wanted to choose this one down here, but it wouldn't let me go here. I had to go here. So I don't know if it was just bugging for me. Well, the game was a little bit bugging out a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised. So
off at will. There are special upgrades for getting 3 duplicates and 6 duplicates, but for the most part, I think this is really, really interesting. And since the weapons are mostly earned just by playing and exploring the city, the game mainly tries to take your money through fancy car parts and character outfits instead, which are also on this gacha board. One thing I noticed is that, yes, the glider skin, vehicle skin, and character skin are on the gacha board too, but if you don't get them after reaching certain pull milestones, you can just claim them directly. Glider at 50, vehicle skin at 120, and character skin at 200. But that's not to say all the skins are gacha only. Many of them, if not most of them, can be bought with in-game currency that you can earn just from doing commissions or running your business. And there is, of course, an in-game mode to earn the premium currency, which you can use to buy pulls, etc. Again, unless I'm missing something, it really does seem like you can earn almost everything in this game completely free to play, if you are willing to put in the time. On the point of skins though, I think this is where Nte really flexes its double life aspect of the game. As I mentioned, there are high tier cosmetics found in the same banner as the limited character, which feature new visual effects, custom idle animations, and unique interaction lines. By increasing your bond level with characters through giving them gifts or taking them out for coffee in the city or something, you can unlock alternative outfits like pajamas, casual streetwear, or work uniforms. And throughout the city, there are several clothing boutiques that you can walk into, so while premium skins are gacha based, devs have hinted at a farmable or purchasable casual accessories to tweak your character's look on top of that too. And since characters have supernatural movement abilities, you can also customize the visual flair of their traversal. And as for gliders, there are several different ones that you can unlock and choose from. But not just for the characters. Since driving is a core part of the open world experience in this game, car skins are also possible. You can get high rarity paint jobs and full body decals. These change the physical silhouette of your car by adding spoilers, wide body fenders, or custom hoods. From what I could tell, there are only a few skins that are locked behind premium currency. The rest are completely accessible for free-to-play players. And after you do all of this to customize your character, your vehicle, and all of that, you can make full use of their camera system, which has got to be hands down one of the best camera systems I have ever seen in a game so far. The amount of customization you can do in the settings is incredible. On top of the regular old distance, position, and filters, they have even more, like various poses and facial expressions to choose from. And you can rotate the character to face a different direction, or you can just rotate the camera itself, as well as changing the aperture to get that really creamy bokeh in the background and a bunch of other lighting effects too. And the drone mode. Wow, this feels like an entirely new game mode in and of itself. I had so much fun flying through and around the city with the drone, trying to get some cool shots. It is a lot of fun. I will say that some of the skins don't play particularly well in the selfie camera mode. For example, Mint's hand while wearing this skin either completely hides her face or goes straight through her head entirely. Also, some of the custom lighting options produce some unflattering shadows, no matter which angle I try. One thing I was surprised by is that there is no option to select the character's idle animations in the poses menu either. With all the different poses and facial expressions, I think they could add those in there too. There are some other little things, but on the whole, it is a very robust camera system that I really enjoyed playing around with, and I don't typically play with cameras in these kinds of games at all. The last thing I want to touch on is the bond system. In a nutshell, the more you use and interact with the characters, your bond goes up. Or you can also just bribe them with gifts too. And while there are a lot of interactions you can have them do at bond level 0, at certain bond milestones you can unlock some more special interactions like driving with them in the car, hugging with them, or the incredibly not safe for work hand-holding. And there's even more if you invite them to one of your properties too. All this, and I still haven't even touched on the story, and I won't for the sake of spoilers for those that don't want to know. For the story, all I'll say is that I really enjoyed it. I like the way that it seamlessly switched between lighthearted comedy and some pretty creepy moments too. I like the way it doesn't seem afraid to lean into that horror aspect, but at the same time, it has a good humor about the fun stuff too. The cutscenes were...
It's like basically equivalent to the Yakuza games. You know how like you have a lot of goofy moments, but then you also have your serious moments. It's basically like that, you know?
Vibrant and expressive, sometimes even to a fault. Like some lines or actions would be really big when they didn't really need to be. But if I were given a choice between this and characters standing in a circle just looking at each other, I'd take this every time.
That's true.
In saying that though, for the in-game rendered cutscenes, the MC seemed a little flat, especially when compared to someone like Mint, who is anything but. I mentioned in my previous thoughts video that in the rendered cutscenes, he's completely fine, but the in-game stuff for him needs a little bit more work,
he looks
I
stiff.
think. I've heard the female MC isn't as bad, so it really could just be a problem for the male MC for now. There's honestly so much to do in this game that I could probably go on for much, much longer. My overall opinion is that I really enjoyed it. The story is interesting, the characters look good, a lot of skins and visual customization, the combat is decent, but could still just use a few tweaks here and there. The world is big with a lot of stuff to do, with endless possibilities to do much more in the future, not to mention how free-to-play friendly it feels right now. Yeah, on the whole, I have been incredibly impressed with NTE, and I'm looking forward to the official release. Of course, anything could change from now until that official release, but I'm just talking about my experience in this closed beta. If they continue on this path to just keep adding more and more, I think many people will really enjoy this game. But what about you? What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video and you want to see more...
Yeah, overall, you know, I've talked about it at the beginning of the video or so. Rather play those games who are more fun than GTA 6. Well, we have that one, and plus we also have Nte, which is the actual true GTA, the true anime GTA. This is more like, this game gives me more yokai watch because you're going after yokais at the end of the day, you know? While Nte is like literally full-blown Spider-Man GTA, basically. That's what that game gives me the most, while this one is more yokai watch, you know? Like I said, specifically, as if they, well, I know for a fact that they're not going to watch this video in general, but these are like my personal opinions of what I think specifically on the game in general. The radio music needs to be better. There needs to be like an actual radio with talk hosts, you know, changing stations and everything, having different kinds of songs and everything like that. They really need to nail that specifically, because it just feels kind of like it's all right, but it can definitely be better, 100%. And then there's some other things that I personally didn't like personally, but that's like I said, these are just my personal opinions at the end of the day. Agree to disagree at the end of the day. But I did had a good fun time overall. I had a more positive outlook on the game itself. It felt really nice where literally like all the characters aren't glazing the main character and everything like that felt really great. The trope of the lost memory thing, kind of annoying personally. But overall, it just feels kind of nice that not like every single character is like glazing over the main character. Withering waves. Anyways, but overall, that's kind of basically it though. I'm gonna glaze your mom's vagina in a second. Anyways, and then we have the Silver Palace 2 coming up. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get into the beta for that game, which I wish I would have, but it would have been so nice. But overall, great video nonetheless. Though Riku Sensei is always an enjoyable person, even though I disagree a lot of certain things of his point of views back in the past that he did or so. Because I'm just kind of like, really. But overall, that's kind of basically it though. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And personally, we'll see what happens with NTE. I know they're gonna have at least one more open beta, is what they said. They're gonna have an open beta version of this game, which is gonna be very interesting to see, apparently. But I'll definitely take a look at it when it becomes open beta. I'll definitely play it in Japanese that time around just to see how the game is. But yeah.